And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. A double and we're back. She was going to show wartime ZoomShteig 195 in the schus of the soldiers and the schus of the captives. They're still out there and we have not forgotten them. Sure, today's sponsored by Tati and Sons. Talk to him. Shalom Aleichem. Yisrael Eliyahu. Okay. So, welcome Tati Mairi. So we're in Beitza, Beya, Tav Gimel Amud Aleph. So we saw the four opinions of how to explain our Mishnah about the egg that was born on Yantif. The first opinion that we saw was that, it's talking about a chicken that is omedes lachila, you're going to eat it. And the reason is muksa. The reason that Beis Hillel says don't eat it is because it's muksa. Because this is a tarnagolas that omedes legado beitzim, right? You put this tarnagolas, you're saying it's going to give me other eggs. It's going to give me eggs. You weren't planning on eating this chicken, and so that first opinion is that it's because of muksa. And then we have the opinion of Rabbi Nachman. Rav Nachman that says no, it's a tarnagolas that is right. He has muksa. He doesn't have no lot. Okay. Then we have opinion of Rabbah. Just do a little bit of chazara. The opinion of Rabbah is that no, really, it's a tarnagolas that you're going to eat. It's not a question of muksa, but it's specifically talking about a yantif that falls out to be on Sunday after Shabbos. And the problem is hachana. The problem is preparation. That when the egg gestates in the belly of the chicken on Shabbos, and then it was born on Yantif, so it was preparing on Shabbos for Yantif. And we say, this is actually Rabbah who's going, the Shitasa who's going to Tameh. Because Rabbah says that Hachana is the Oraisa. And we learned that out from Vayehi Bayom HaShishi, V'echinu as Asher Yaviu. Talking about preparing the man, collecting the man. We learned that from Chol, Mechin the Shabbos, to Chol, Mechin the Yantif. Rav Yosef has an opinion that that the egg is a gezerah because you might come to eat a fruit that fell, and the egg that falls off might get confused with the fruit that fell. The fruit that fell is only aser because of a gezerah. And maybe you're going to come take it. The Gemara is like, isn't it a gezerah to a gezerah? And they ask the same thing about Rav Yitzchak. They know it's one gezerah. Rav Yitzchak talks about mashkin shezavu, juice that comes out. Similar thing to the egg. Okay, so we're on Gimel Amud Aleph. Thank you for indulging me in that chazara. Kulu Rav Nachman lo amran kikushan kirava. Kikushan. So they all didn't say like Rav Nachman because of the question that we asked. Well, what was the question that we asked Rav Nachman? Because Rav Nachman was trying to say, right? He was trying to say that the problem was muksa. was talking about a tarnagolas, a chicken that was meant for having eggs. And if you have muksa, then you have nolad. And if you don't have muksa, so then you don't have nolad. Beis Shammai is like Rabbi Shimon, who doesn't have muksa, and therefore he doesn't have nolad. Beis Hillel is like Rabbi Yehuda, who does have muksa, and therefore does have nolad. But Rav Nachman ran into some trouble over there. Because in other places he said that Beis Hillel was like Rabbi Shimon and Beis Shammai is like Rabbi Yehuda. And so he gets into all of those questions, and they end up like having those questions on Rav Nachman. That's why they don't say like Rav Nachman. So but why don't they say like Rabbah lo Amri? Because they have because Rabbah holds. Zoom users
I'm sitting here by the goats.
By the goats, should be a tikkun.
I didn't make it home yet. By the goats.
Listen, bro.
Where are you holding? What's going?
So we're holding of the Kushya Kiraba. So we're saying, okay, the way that Rabbah learns it, and by the way, the Rif and the Rush, and the Rif and the Rambam, the Chora that we've seen, the Chora learn like Rabbah, but we don't understand what we have to see. Why did they come out understanding that Rabbah was the best answer? The reason that the other people don't say like Rabbah is because they don't have that Hachana is Deoraisa, maybe. They don't have Hachana. Okay, well, what if it's there? But what do you mean Hachana Leislu? We have to see Rashi over there. Ella Rav Yosef, my time alone, Rabbi Yitzchak. So why didn't Rav Yosef, who says that the reason that Beis Hillel says you can't have the egg is because it's similar to the case of like a fruit falling out of a tree, and Rav Yitzchak said Mashkim Shazavu, that is usher on that day. Right, the Gemara Shabbos and Kuf Mem Gimel in the Rashi over here that we saw last time that we ended with their hope. The Beitza is similar to water that comes out of like a fruit on Shabbos that the Gemara on Shabbos says Aser. The because the egg was in the is DVJ doing exercise right now?
If you mean walking, yes.
Oh my God, the whole yeshiva is making moves at which I was walking, bro. Givaldic, you'll think you're running, bro. Okay, so why doesn't Rabbi Yosef say like Rabbi Yitzchak? Why does Rabbi Yitzchak say Rabbi Yosef? What's the difference? They said it's a gezerah, you can't eat the egg, either it's a gezerah because of the fruit that falls, or from the juice that like squirts out. I've never seen a chicken lay an egg, but maybe there's like placenta. I don't know. Is the egg the placenta? We need shteig. We need farm boy. Yo, DVJ or Zavit or someone want to text shteig and tell them we need farm boy. We need to know how much placenta comes out with an egg. And so why don't they say like each other? Asks the Gemara. Amar lecha Beitza uchla v'peiros uchla lafuge mashkin. Very logical. Very logical. Rav Yosef says, the egg is ochel, and the egg is food, and the fruit is food. So then why would I compare it to juice, to water? Doesn't make any sense. That's a great question from Rav Yosef. For Rav Yitzchak, okay, what's Rav Yitzchak an answer? It's actually Rebbe Yitzchak. My time below Amar Karav Yosef. Amar Lecha, he says, listen, Beitza is Belua. The egg is encompassed, it's inside, it's swallowed up in the mom's chick egg pouch. I don't know, wherever it's held. Does chicken come out of the butt or the vagina? We need shtegs. These are questions that only shtegs know.
I just texted him.
Ask him that specific question. Tell him we need to know. It's crucial. So he says it's in there, and mashkin also is in the fruit. It's in there, but the fruit themselves are just out there in the world, just kind of hanging. Okay, shkayach. That's the Gemara. Now it's time for the Heliga Rashi. So sweet. What a schuz to be learning Rashi's in Eretz Yisrael. To learn Gemara. Okay. So you guys actually. Okay. So kulhu Rabba Duuki Masnisim Mishum Achana Rav Yosef Zera. So they don't say like Rav Nachman that the answer is like Muksha Kikushan to Parchinan Leel Live Lagu B'Tarvayu. Okay. So the specific thing that the reason that the specific shaila that they asked against Rabbi Nachman was that Rabbi Nachman, according to him, like they could have, like it wasn't clear like why they would say if it's about muksha, why would they say that it's talking about the egg and not the chicken? And so like he tried to answer it, but at the end of the day they slugged him up with, well then just teach both. If that was really the case, that it's talking about muksha, then teach about the chicken also. And so that's the question that they had of Rav Nachman that they didn't say. Umashkin lav uchla. And then the Gemara says, okay, Rashi says, oh, that's klar, until he needs to explain the reason why Rav Yosef didn't say like Rav Yitzchak. He says, listen, I'm comparing solid food to solid food over here. Hilchach shegazru al mashkin shezavu, when they made a gezerah on the juices which could come out of fruit that's like still attached. Lo ha'isa beitza mashma, they were never intending to include egg. Shahare eno mashka, because it eno mashka, it is not like a drink. Aval b'chlal peiros anoshim ha'isa, but it is included in the gezerah of fruit that falls down. Belua, like when it says swallowed up, like in the betoncha tarnagoles, v'zava lachutz, it's like swallowed up in the egg, in the chicken's tummy, and it like squirts out or flows out. Zava lachutz, mashke beluin bicharatz bichartsanin. V'zavin lachutz, they're in like that little like film around the grape thing. Or it says bezagin. Maybe that's another word that they wanted to say, bezagin. Zag shalem. Okay. I like whatever. Because chatzanim maybe is pits. I don't know. Okay. Lafuge peros, to the exclusion, says Rabbi Yitzchak about Rabbi Yossi, the guy who talks about the flowing of the water, comparing that to an egg rather than a fruit that falls. He says fruit are just mikgalu v'kaimu, they're just all out there. Nashiras habeitza lav b'chlal nashiras the peros. Therefore, it's not similar when an egg falls out of the chicken. It's not similar to when a tree, an apple falls out of a tree. Okay. So now, we're figuring out how to learn Be'iyah. And I feel like we did good Gemara. And I'm going to put a yellow tab for Beitza over here. And we're going to start the next part of the Gemara about another Yid, Rabbi Yochanan, who holds that the Gezerah is actually because of the mashkin, which I thought was clearly the worst of all the suggestions. But if Rabbi Yochanan is talking about it, so then why does the Rambam not paskin like that? Why? Let's see how the Rambam paskins. I want to see a Rambam. So mashkin shezavu. What's the reason mashkin shezavu is the gezerah that maybe you're going to squeeze it? So they say, oh, that's the gezerah. Now we're going to make gezerah to a gezerah like the egg because of is a gezerah is similar to the thing that we made a gezerah of the liquids that come out of the fruit. And the reason you can't have liquids come out of the fruit is not the rice. It's just a gezerah that maybe you're going to come to squeeze it. So we say don't have any fruit liquid that comes out of a fruit that's, I guess, attached to a tree or mashkin shezavu. It's got to be. I mean, we could see the Gemara in Shabbos, Naf Kuf Mem Gimel on Beis. If I even have a Gemara in Shabbos, it might be the one that I'm missing. Right? So, okay, let's see the Rambam when it talks about Hachana. The idea of Hachana is also super interesting because the Mesilas Yesharim talks about Hachana in the introduction or in chapter 1. He says that this world is like Chol, and Shabbos is like the world to come. And so the idea of Hachana, which is their rights according to Rabbah, the idea of Hachana is really just teaching us what it is to prepare in this world for the next world, the world to come. Olam Haba. Olam Hazeh Doma L'Pruzdor. And so let's see what the Rambam says. And so it happens to be that I could just very beautifully go and say, oh, look at this. It's Hilchos Yantif, Perek Aleph, Halacha Yutes. And then I can go to the back of my Oz V'Hadar Gemara, Shana Oz V'Hadar.
Shmuel.
Yes.
Shlig said he can't join Shir the second, but he sent me an answer.
Okay, what's the answer?
Says it might sound a little dirty, but eggs and poo come out of the same part of the chicken. Think of it like a plumbing system. 2 pipes come together in one outlet. In this case, the chicken's cloaca.
Yo, that was the best thing. Oh my God, what an answer. I knew Farm Boy would come through. Okay, so it does come out of the chicken's butt. Fascinating. Okay, let's look at this Rambam over here. Chol mechin l'Shabbos, the chol mechin l'Yantif. The chol you prepare for Shabbos, and then the chol could also you can prepare for Yantif. Aval ein Yom Tov mechin l'Shabbos, the ein Shabbos mechina l'Yom Tov. We see that there are 2 times in the world. There's a time, even in this world, there's a time of like where like you gotta work, you gotta like try, you gotta that's the week. But then there is a time that we're supposed to be chilling and we're supposed to not be preparing. Without Shabbos, he could be preparing constantly, always preparing. He never gets to the menucha, he never gets to the nachla, he never learns how to chill. And so you can't prepare on Yantif for Shabbos or on Shabbos for Yantif. You tell a Yid you can't prepare on Yantif, on Shabbos for Yantif. They'll be like, okay, maybe Yantif for Shabbos because maybe Yantif is like not as cham or Shabbos, not kares. No, you can't prepare on Shabbos for Yantif or Yantif for Shabbos. Lefichach, therefore, Beitza shenoda biyom tov achar Shabbos. So So he's saying the Rambam is why bringing the Shita of who of Rabbah? Beitza, who holds the Tchana Deraisa? Beitza that's born on Yantif after Shabbos is Aser. And even though the Tarnagolas Somed is Lachila, what's that? So if a Yid is just going through a Rambam, and so he says, and even though the Tarnagolas is Aser Bachila, and the Yid says, okay, that's what the Rambam says. But we see that the Rambam saying, even if the Tarnagolas is Omed is Lachila, he's saying now like Rabbi Nachman. Because Rav Nachman said that it was an Indian of Muksa. And so that's why Beis Hillel says you can't eat the egg. But if you can eat, but if it was a chicken that you were planning on eating, so then its eggs, you were also planning on eating. It's food that's coming out of food. And so even though the Tarnagolas is Lachila, says the Rambam, it's not a din in Muksa here. Since yesterday on Shabbos, the egg was completed. Nimsa Shabbos mechin osa liyontif. Shabbos is preparing it for yontif. The azrua b'kol yontif, and they make gezerah on all yontif. It's a gezerah mishum yontif shachar Shabbos. V'chein beitza shenoda b'kol Shabbos asura gezerah mishum Shabbos shachar yontif. Now, everyone is paskening like the Rambam. I mean, like Rabbah. We also saw that L'chora in the Rif. So we see the Rush, and then we'll see the Shulchan Aruch and Orach Chaim, Tov Kuf Gimel Seif Aleph. Or should we see the Rush? I kind of want to see the Shulchan Aruch. I mean, we tried to see the Rush. Dad, the Rush made me tap the last time we tried to see this Rush. The Rush is really hard. And like, let's see what he says. I don't know. He talks about a lot of stuff. He says, "V'yira masha tafasar of alphas zal shinuya de Rabba Iker." He paskins like Rabba. So the Russian actually talked about why is everyone pasking like Rabba. He says because the Rif also says like Rabba. The Rabbi Yochanan Itzlei Nami Daima Dimashkin Shisavu. What are you just about to ask? The Rabbi Yochanan also holds the reason of time Mashkin Shisavu. When I said we're going to learn tomorrow, but I did mention that Rabbi Yochanan seems to go like this. Why are we passing like Rabba? Mishum de Nira Lo Gezer Rechoka. Because it seems like really far Gezer. That's what we said also, Baruch Hashem. Lidamos Beitza Lamashkin Shizavu Leperos, and you're going to compare an egg to this far off things. Because the Shas explains, Mishum de Beitza Ochla, Beitza's food, Ubelua, Leperos Miglu Mashkin. So neither of them are comparable because one is food and it's food, but it's like swallowed up. It's not like out in the air of the world, or it's out. It's squeezing out. It's coming out, but it's liquid, so it's not comparable. Hilchach, therefore, it's near Lola Farish Mishum Achana. Therefore, it says like Achana, which is like Rabbah. This is really Be'iyah. Kevan de Kaimalan Hilchas a Karabba. These le'achana. So Rabbah also Achana, and we also hold that also the Beitza. Like that's born today. It was from yesterday. It was born. Okay, yo, I can't believe it. I'm so happy we decided to go see the Rush because the Rush actually said, like the question that we were asking, why are we passing like Rabbah? And he says because the other ones are far, which is also like a question that we asked. Okay, so now we're really learning about Hachana today. It's very beautiful. I want to see the Shulchan Aruch. Now I know it's not final form. I don't have my Rambam with notes Kalim. I don't have my Shulchan Aruch with notes Kalim. Mirza Hashem in the Shulchan of the Torah, the Eibishter will give us the Dishmaya that I could have my Sfarim, that I could have the Rambam and have the Shulchan Aruch. But this is good enough for now. A Yid may do what the cards been dealt. Orach Chaim Tov Kuf Gimel. Orach Chaim Tov Kuf Gimel. So we go again. Look at this. They Mishpat Hamale. We go again to the back, and we have to like, okay, so tough kuf gimel we said. Wait, what did we say it was? Actually, there's like a bunch of different simmons. Tough kuf gimel. Let's see what it says. Wait, let's see what's it. Sif Aleph. Okay, so we're just gonna see some Shulchan Aruch. You cannot do any malacha on Yantif for tomorrow. Afilu hu Shabbos or Yom Tov, even if it's also Shabbos, even if it's the next day on Yantif. Afilu b'shnei yamim shel Rosh Hashanah, even on the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. Aval mimalea isha kadera bazar. So a girl can like fill up her whole pot, and she can make a huge amount of meat, even though she really only needs one. She can make a huge amount of meat. And here's the Ramah. The kosher against Yecholishchot, you could do a shechita even if you only need a little bit. You can cook a lot. Zigriya Zaman and Mirza Hashem will have a lot of yantifs together where we're cooking a lot, big kitchens. And the Vashal Harbe Kaderos will echo Mikol Achas Ma'at, and you can eat from each one a little bit. The Daf Kod Machel V'achar Gil Eini Chol Vashal V'lomar Ochel Mimena Kazayis Ave Arama. It's like cheating the system almost. Miuim Avra V'Bishla, if you did it, it's still mutter to eat it, or Shachta, it's still mutter to eat it. Okay, next one. Simin Tav Kuf Yud Gimel Sif Hey. Tav Kuf Yud Gimel. Tav Kuf Yud Gimel. Sif Hey. Im nolda biyom tov harishon muteres biyom tov sheni. B'shnei yom tovim shel galios. So, if it was born on the first yantif, it's mutter on the second yantif, but that's only in yantif sheni shel galios. Aval b'shnei yom tov shel Rosh Hashanah. But on the two yantifs of Rosh Hashanah, which is the only way that in Eretz Yisrael you have a two yantif. The Shabbos and yantif fasmucha are next to each other. No the bezeh asur bezeh. If it's born on this one, it's asur on the other one. And isn't it crazy that the reason is from such a far, like we're gonna say that it's hachana, even though it's like just like being like born in the stomach of a chicken, and we're saying no, this is like hachana, preparation, and so you can't have the egg, and that's the pshat. That's the first mishnah. That's what the first mishnah Maseches Beitza, the first mishnah of Maseches Yom Tov, is telling us this crazy idea that there's hachana, even when Hashem is the one doing the hachana. It's a gemara that makes me scratch my head. It's very strange. Says the Ramah, "V'im Yom Tov b'Yom Aleph Bet v'Noda b'Shabbos of Ne'em Mutter b'Yom Beis Shel Galios." Interesting. That if you have a 3-day yantif, Shabbos yantif yantif, and the egg was born on the second day, so you can't eat it the first day because you prepare on Shabbos. But the second day of yantif, you can't eat it. Says the Ramah. Says Shulchan Aruch. Okay. Next Shulchan Aruch. Tov Kuf Chav Zayin Sif Aleph. Yom Tov Shechal Lios be'erev Shabbos. So yantif falls out on erev Shabbos. Lo yevashel b'techila letzorech Shabbos. You shouldn't cook for the beginning, like I'm cooking for Shabbos b'kadera b'fnei atzma. Listen, I'm making 10 kaderos, 10 pots for Yantif. And if it is huter, if it is permissible, like if it's extra, so then you have extra for Shabbos, you know. The ayide eruv mivashel b'techila l'Shabbos, and so if you make an eruv tafshilin, you can cook lechatchila, cooking on Yantif to prepare it for Shabbos. Now, I assume that in our Masechta we will get into the, and we're back. We will get into the sugi of eruv tafshilin. And Zalman, it's unbelievable. This whole Masechta of Yantif, it's all about eating. It's all about chefs. It's all about cooking. That's why it's called Masechtas Beitza, maybe, because it's a food. You know, we're going to call Yantif based on the mitzvah of Yantif, which is the food, eating food on Yantif. Yeah, we can call it Masechtas Yantif, just as we call it Masechtas Shabbos, Pesachim, etc. But we wanted to express that, like, this whole Masechta L'chora, I mean, we haven't seen, we've only seen a few pages, but like, if it's dealing with so much with food, that's the mitzvah of Yantif. It's Simchas Yantif. Okay. Perish Inyan ha'eruv hu bish she'yivashel v'yapeh b'yom tov. Okay, so for all of us, we're not 100% sure what an eruv tafshilin is. The Rama is explaining it. That you cook and bake on Yantif for Shabbos. Imashav bishel v'afa. What you cooked and baked kfar me'erev Yom Tov. That you already cooked an erev Yantif l'shem Shabbos for Shabbos. Nimda shelo hischil malacha b'Yom Tov ela gamar oso. V'mutar la'aniach erev zeh afilu safek chashecha. Okay, Dad, I might need help understanding erev tafshilin over here. I'll tell you what I think it is, but I have a feeling that you are holding, maybe other people share also. But what I think it is, just from this Ramah, is that I'm starting to cook for Shabbos, Erev Yantif. And so I'm already starting to cook Erev Yantif for Shabbos. And so now when I'm cooking on Yantif for Shabbos, I'm not beginning a malacha on Yantif preparing for Shabbos, I'm just continuing what I started on Chol preparing for Shabbos.
I think that's right.
I think that's right. I never knew that my whole life. I never knew
But
that.
you can cook on Yantif for Shabbos.
Well, only because of the Erev Tavshilin.
Right. And you make the bracha and you make the Erev, but you have to make sure to eat it on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you don't complete
I'm
it.
hoping that we're going to learn about the Erev Tavshilin. So we're dealing with Hachana. Let's see if, right? So the Rif Paskin says Mishum Hachana. Because Savarabba Kol Beitza Demisyala this Haidna Me Edmo Gamarla. Every egg that was bought, it was yesterday, it was fixed. So Rabba Litame. This is in the Rif now. Rabba is going according to his reasoning to Amar Rabba, because Rabba says Vahaya Bayom Hashishi Ve'echinu was the 6th day that he prepared. Chol is mechin for Shabbos, and Chol is mechin for Yantif. Ve'en Yom Tov mechin for Shabbos, ve'en Yom Shabbos mechin for Yom Tov. All right, let's see. I was looking in the Rif. Again, we're figuring out the Mahalach Be'iyun. I was looking in the Rif, but I was looking maybe Iran. I was looking for a treat. Maybe it wasn't the right time. because there was nothing there. I'll see at the right time. We'll see a very interesting. We'll see some cool paper mafarshim on the riff. The riff is like a whole world that like is very rarely touched. It's very rare to touch a riff. I mean, not in some circles, but even in those circles, it's rare. Okay. So there are a few Tosfoses that we haven't done, and I thought I would take a look. We could take a look at some of the Tosfosim.
Got about 10 minutes.
Perfect. Okay. I got a great Tosfos, guys. When we were breaking apart, when the Gemara was like slugging up the Shita of Nachman, it says, why does it have the machlokas with an egg? Why does it have the machlokas with the chicken? So the Gemara says, well, because we wanted to show you the egg, that even Beis Shammai says you can even eat the egg, show you how strong Beis Shammai is leheter. Tell me how strong Beis Shammai is. Beis Hillel is. Tell me how strong Beis Hillel is. The Kula. You know, tell me how strong Beis Hillel is. In the Kula, we're on Beis Amud Beis Rebbetzin. And we're going to do a Tosfos in that idea of the Chitema Koach De'atera Adif. You say the reason is maybe the reason that they did an egg is because to tell us the strength of Beis Shammai on top of the strength of Beis Hillel, and because Beis Shammai is the one making a head there, and with Koach De'atera Adif, Perish Kuntra. So says Rashi, Lekach Koach De'atera Adif, Shekisha Adam Matir, Somich al Shmuaso. This is so beautiful. So koach de'atera adif, the permission, the strength to permit something is way stronger. That when a person, you allow something, so then you have to rely on what you've learned. And you have to bring a raya. The Devarov. You have to bring a raya to his words. Listen, someone wants to say something's usher, you could just say something's usher and not bring rayas and be like, you know, just like, oh, usher. Yeah. You know? You could taka say that. Aval isura adam yachol la'achmir alav v'lo ta'aper, it's just machmir without any reason. Okay. Yids and gentlemen, how much time do we have left?
6 minutes.
6 minutes. And it was on the 6th day. Here is Rashi. Rashi says, Val came Baal Ashma'ina to come and teach us, or Al Korach come and teach us. Remember that, how we said that it's so weird that they're using like this pasuk to teach us about Achana, about like the man. Yeah, of course you think Achana teaches the man, Rebbetzin. That's why even the egg is usher, because the man also, because Achana was preparation from Hashem. And so too the egg is preparation from Hashem. Achana b'idei Shemayim, it's called. It's Beitza Asura Di'im Mishum Achana b'idei Adam Til Laimar Sheyafu v'yivashnu v'od yom Ha'v'hejik Siv Ez Asher Ta'afu Avu Ela Hazmana V'Peka Amar, talking about that you have to like decide. Hazman of a pay. You have to start with your mouth. Think, okay, this is what I'm going to eat. Ve'ein yantiv mechin the Shabbos, and you can't prepare on yantiv for Shabbos. Ve'ein shad yantiv, you can't prepare on Shabbos for yantiv. Mikol shekain kav chomer. Kevin the ein yantiv mechin the Shabbos, yantiv mechin the Shabbos. Kol shekain the shad mechin the yantiv. To Hikshe Rashi, and so they asked, Rashi asked, Im kain Beitza shanota be'acha b'Shabbos ola achar yantiv titzar. Mikol shekain the Shabbos the yantiv lo mechinin adadi. Right. So kosher again the lo mechinin achol. Right. So let's say the egg is born on like on Sunday. So wait a second. You're telling me that you can eat this egg born on Sunday? It was prepared on Shabbos. You can't even eat it on Yontif. You can't even eat it on Yontif. You're going to tell me you can eat it on a regular chol? The tirates and the answer. Suda during the week, trying to survive the week. You don't need preparation. It's not chashuv. The ain't Suda's chol chashuva. It's not chashuva. It's not important. However, tema, it's a pella. It's a wonder. Since achana is the oraisa, heich ofen mevashlim yom tov l'Shabbos. How do you prepare on Yom Shabbos? If you're going to be like, oh, yo, I'm so smart, we're going to use an Erev Tavshilin. Wow. Wow. You're going to tell me that you're going to have Hachana Deoraisa and you're going to have this little like Takana Derabanan of Erev Tavshilin, and it's going to take away this Deoraisa. But nearly Yashev, the Rabba Gufa of Azul Tameh. Rabbi himself is going to Shitazo. The Islay Hoel. He has the Sfar of Hoel. The Mikloi Lay Orchin. Oh, you could always have the thing that will maybe guess will come. Chazi Lay Hashta. We're ready for them now. Not Michazi Lay. So it's not really like is there to cook on Yontif for Shabbos, because it can always be that guest might come. ואפילו לדידה ניחא דכל דבר אפוי מבושל לא שייך בהכנה, שאינו מחוסר רק תיקון בעלמא, דמעיקרא אבחזי like רק, right, it was ready, like for example, like a carrot, like you could eat it raw, you could eat it cooked, but only an egg, that the davar chadash, the new thing, shelo hayasav olam, didn't exist, lo hayasaruya klau meikar, it wasn't like it was edible beforehand in any way, shape, or form. It didn't exist, like my dad said. But the cook is just fixing something. Tema, wonder. Here it implies that the man wasn't coming down on Yantif. Like Rashi says, Hashishi Aroila is on the 6th day. Amrina and Vevarich Veikadesh Baruch Maman Vekitchu Maman Sheba Shabbos, it wouldn't come down. Man. Aval B'Yantif, it would have man. So we have a big steer. Did we have man on Yantif? Did we have man on Yantif? Did we have man on Yantif?
Two men.
Yesh Lomer did Midrashim Chalukim, it's Machlokas Midrashim. Right? It says, Medrash Shabbos lo yeh l'Rabbos Yom Kippurim lo yeh bo l'Rabbos Yontif shelo hayored bahen man v'od yesh lomar defilu hayored b'yontif b'kol makom b'yontif shechol yos be'erev Shabbos, it wouldn't come out. So it would come out on Yontif, but not on Yontif. That was on Friday. Like it doesn't crow b'yom hashishi v'lo ksiv shishi mashma hashishi, the 6th day. The yom hashishi, that's miyuchad. That is ra'oi ta'achana, to preparation, and not in the shishi, that is yantif, that is not ra'oi for preparation. Beautiful, tasteful. Koach dehet teira adin. Maybe we'll have access to Svarim. Koach dehet teira adif. Abishur. Fallen fruit, but the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Shkoyach everyone.